Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv Show. I'm over my cold. I feel better, except for an occasional cough. This is going to be something that is not going to last too long, but I want to make a few points on this. This came across my desk. It was shared to me several times, and I think it's a very sad story, but I think we can learn from this. It's really tragic. And what am I speaking about? Well, I put it out on every link. But for those who don't see it, I'll read it out for you. 3 women killed in single vehicle crash moments after posting in the car, drinking and driving, going up to 116 miles per hour. 3 friends soaked in alcohol were killed driving at 116 miles an hour, with one left with critical injuries in a single vehicle crash in Lake County, Florida on Sunday, March 30th, according to the Florida Highway Patrol. The crash occurred around 3:16 a.m. on State Road 19, south of Saint Florian Lane, troopers said. One of them in the car shared a video of them drinking and singing to a loud rap song just moments before the crash. According to the report, a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee was traveling northbound on State Road 19 when its driver failed to negotiate a left-hand curve and the SUV ran off the roadway to the right. Now, I'm not going to say their names, a little bit too hard to pronounce, but one was 30 years old from Mount Dora. The other one was 32, 28, and a 26-year-old who's not named. Everything is here. And that's not the point. I'm not a reporter. I just wanted to get into this story, and you can look at the details later on. But as I thought about this, because you all know I like to think deep, it hit me how I'm not going to blame younger folks, because surely they're all grown. They can do what they want to do. But why is it so cool to push your life? You have no regards for your life. I know younger folks can do foolish things, and I know I've done foolish things and gotten away with it, but not anything like this. First of all, to drink out of the bottle. Not that it matter whether it was a Dixie cup out of the bottle or you throw it up in the air or whatever. You're driving and you're consuming alcohol. Well, if alcohol is being consumed, let it not be the driver. You all can drink all you want, but haven't you heard about a thing called a designated driver? Look at this. You caught glimpses of the fingernails and the hair and the eyelashes. Yes, I'm going there. I'm going to go deeper later on, but I want to piss somebody off. I really do. That's more important to you than your life. 3:16 in the morning, this happens. And the rap music, which is not really saying anything. And I heard one of the words or a few of the lyrics that said, pay attention. Well, they were paying attention to every other thing that they should be paying attention to except the road. Look at this. Look at this. You have no regard for life, and you think that you're entitled to life, and you can push life like this. You were given the gift of life. Yes, many of us have done foolish things and learned from it, but this is something where their time came up. But was it really where their time came up? They pushed it. If they stayed home or had some safe kind of fun, because is this fun? We going out there looking good. Come on now. We know the types. And we can't be silent about this anymore. This is not acceptable. I won't say that this is the sum total of their existence, but look where it got them. What future did they have? And when you really look at it, let's take off the kid gloves. You got your weave and you got your eyelashes and your lips are pierced up. You're drinking. This tells me what kind of woman you are. Now, maybe there are two that we didn't see. We saw that one face. We saw the hands of the driver, the nails, everything. This is what you all about. You about that life. 116 miles an hour for what? In a brand new vehicle, 2024. Brand new. I'm not mad at you because you're in a brand new vehicle, but you're driving and you're drinking and you all done up into a thing where I know these types. I'm out there looking good. We driving, we rolling, we balling. Well, your families will be balling now as far as crying is concerned, right? I got a few points that I jotted down when I was watching this and thinking about it. This is just shooting off the hip. But look at that. Reckless abandon versus life's value. Compare their careless actions to people battling terminal illness or struggling to survive, who would cherish just one more day to live. One more day. If they weren't in this situation, they obviously had more life. Yes, great blackness is very sad. It's very sad. But when are we going to take accountability for our actions? These are not children. These are not children. What is in their head? What is intoxicating them on top of the alcohol? The mindset. The mindset of many of our younger, and I'm going to say younger because I'm getting older. And yes, I did things, but I didn't do anything like that. That's a definite that if you make one mistake on the road like they did. Now, if this video wasn't taken, this wouldn't be much of a story outside of their inner circle, because we see this all the time. There's probably 10 of these stories, a little different maybe, if you go to the news. And the news is not here to report all the news because so much more is happening. The news is a business. These news platforms are a business, and it's their job to keep your butts in the seats or coming back to their platforms so those who sponsor them can recoup on the money they spent for the ads. It's not about love, it's business. But this happens too much. And there's somebody out there who's sick, who might die tonight. Maybe they're sick because of something they had no control over. Maybe they have an environmental situation. They were by a toxic plant somewhere. And they grew up there. And everybody in the town has a special form of cancer. And they would like to live another day. And here you go, throwing your life away. And then we're going to have the T-shirts and the people in the neighborhood and community, R.I.P. this name. And Diane, yes, welcome on in, my dear sister. I knew you'd be here. I felt your energy. But they're going to have the shirts. They're going to have the lighting of the candle. All of this fanfare when you could have sat down and put some sense into these people, because this didn't happen overnight. And if you ask me, and pretty much they did this before. And when you have younger people doing things like this, you're telling me that life is not sweet. Because what pain are you going through that you're trying to self-medicate from? We got to think about these things. We got to nip it in the bud because we dropped the ball. It shouldn't have got like this. Maybe they grew up seeing older folks do this and it's cool. And now they feel they're adult now, even though there's a 30-year-old, a 28-year-old, and a 26-year-old. One of them is in critical and has to relive this. Well, you wouldn't have to relive this if you weren't in it. You decided to go there. And if I sound like I'm chastising, in a sense I am. For the future folks who see this, who want to do the same thing, who might change their mind. If the driver wasn't drunk, this wouldn't have happened. I used to give tours of Atlantic City from New York. Not tours, but when I had my van, I was driving my van, I used to hustle on the side. It's like, listen, you want to go to Atlantic City for a couple of days and party and go down there and come back safe? I'll go with you because I don't drink. I had my 7-passenger Chevy Astro van hooked up, rims, the lights, the dark tinted windows, the sound system, had the CB radio and everything like that. You can do what you want to do. I'm not doing it, but I'm going to get you there safe. Now, when you're walking around now, you're on your own. If you want to go elsewhere, I'm there for you. And I made a lot of money that way on the side. I'm always hustling. But you're going to just take it into your own. Look at her drinking. Look at that. Look at that. But there's somebody out there that wish they can live just a few more hours. Do you know how many people, we've heard this story before, they have a loved one who they know is about to transition. And the family is spread out all over the city, or all over the country, rather. And they're rushing to get there before they leave. And that loved one knows it, and we all know it. And they're holding on. People are on flights trying to get there to hold the hand of the loved one and kiss them and hug them, and some don't make it. But here you are driving down the road 116 miles an hour. And what about the aftermath of the families? The families will mourn, but did they consider how their reckless choices would devastate their loved ones? That means you don't give a damn. I knew when I was younger, my craziness did not involve driving crazy, and I am a driveraholic, but I'm a damn safe driver because I know the power that's under your foot when your foot is on that gas pedal and your hand is on the wheel. And I've seen lots of accidents. And I have never been in an accident that I've caused or would. But I would never drink. I've seen people do it. I've seen friends of mine leave parties drunk and say, listen, man, I'll take you home. I'll come back and look, whoever doesn't have a ride or can't afford a cab, I'll get them. Leave your car. I'll come get you when we come back. And they had to leave. And one of my good friends, I got that phone call about an hour later. And I told him to his face, this is the thing, Great Blackness. I don't know if they had any children or not. Oh, man, but what if they did? Because, we have foolish women. And I'm not just saying black women. It happens to be black women. It could be anybody. It happens to everybody out here. But I'm talking about us. We got enough coming at us in America. And this is supposed to be fun? Okay. If the cops pulled them over before this happened, and they may have had an attitude or may have been combative, that would have been a little better than them being dead. We don't think about this. Oh, yes, Diane, definitely. But I know there's going to be somebody who identifies with this mentality. Oh, it's wrong. Oh, this. It's better to be chastised than for you to take your own life. They actually committed suicide in the name of fun. And I know the mindset. And I know that road. That's in Lake County. I was living for 19 years in Orlando, Florida, in Orange County. And I was all over the place. So yeah, I drove a bus. I worked at corrections. But I would drive and I would explore. I know that road right there. I know people that are not too far from there. And some of them roads are so dark, and you see how the car's bouncing up and down? And they're showing it 116 miles an hour. And you can't tell me she has control of that vehicle? Unbelievable. And what if they were pregnant and didn't know it? They still have no consideration for the child if they were pregnant and they're drinking. And that's a whole other point. You're more concerned about how you look, and you look like a clown with them electrical tape eyelashes on? What does that do for you? At the end of the day, what good does it do for you? Why do so many people online feel no sympathy? Because actions have consequences, and blatant disregard for life makes it hard for strangers to care. Because too many examples of this happen. Clubs getting shot up, random drive-bys, turf wars, drug wars, jealous boyfriends, jealous girlfriends, people getting stabbed up. You want to go to the club and leave your baby at home, so you give the baby a little extra NyQuil to make them sleep more. And you come back and you see cops in front of your apartment, in front of your house, because your baby got up and, well, maybe not out the crib, but your 3-year-old got up and walked outside. And now you arrested. You want to talk about racism. Immaturity. Yet and still, yeah, in all races, we have different things going on. But do you think, let's get real now, you think there's going to be a little Japanese kid or a bunch of girls doing this? Maybe they do. But how many times do you see it in the news? Culturally, this hijacked culture that we have, it's not culture. It's been hijacked. The music industry, the movies, all of the entertainment, the social media, and you follow this foolishness. Those of us who have sense, we see it. But those of you all who have no sense and you think that's the in thing to do. What is the weave and the eyelashes and the pierced lips? And look, I'm all for two people getting freaky, doing what you do behind closed doors. That's beautiful. But all of this whorish look, and the narcissism and looking at yourself and primping around. Could you imagine the attitudes of a decent young man? Well, no decent young man is going to approach these women. And you know what? They could be beautiful. They could be beautiful if they didn't fall for this foolishness. But the attitudes and the mindset, they're so far off of what they should be and what they were created to be. And this is the result. This is what happens. Our sisters are supposed to be protected. We're not saying they're supposed to be in jail. But how can you have your young ladies out here doing this kind of stuff? Somebody failed. They're grown. They're not going to listen to their parents. They're grown. They're of legal age to do this. But who are they dealing with? Who do they know? Is there anybody in their circle that has sense? Because like I said, I feel this is not the first time they did it. Sweet D, welcome on in. Blessings to you also. But the thing is, this is a culture of self-destruction. Look how modern social media and the party culture encourage young Black women and men. We're talking about the women now because this is what it is. To prioritize momentary thrills over long-term survival. In 6 more days, I turned 62 years old. I am and when I look back, I say, oh my God, I made it this far. And I'm going to try to make it to 62 because 6 days is a long time. But the bottom line is that we're walking through minefields. We're not supposed to be paranoid. Welcome in, Sticks. Thanks for coming through. It's a minefield. This is a beautiful life, but we don't know what can happen. Things can happen that we have no control over. We see it every day. But when you have control over something, the other day, I stepped outside and we had some cinder blocks piled up 2 rows high. I stepped up on one of them to look at something under one of the gutters. And I slipped and fell on my face. And nobody was home. Now, what if I broke my neck? What if? Now, we can't live in a fictional world, but we have to be proactive because life is precious. Anything can happen. Enjoy it. Be careful, but don't be careless. But this culture that's hijacked, encouraging us to be stupid, and we think life is a video. We think we just click on and click off. the videos are produced in a certain way where there's maximum safety, even movies. Way back in the 70s, hip hop, early 80s, and around 89, I'd say. See, when they had Public Enemy and the different righteous groups out there, we had fun music and we had love songs. Look at this now. This culture is helping to turn the gullible of us, not all of us. And I applaud the righteous young ladies. If you want to have a drink, I'm not going to knock you. Do it inside. Get a designated driver. Now, the weather out here is getting real bad. I hope this power don't cut out. If it does, I'll come back on the phone. You'll have to just give me a moment because I thought the storms were over. Tracy J, welcome on in. Thank you for being here. And this wasn't going to be a long one anyway, so I'm kind of paranoid about the power. As soon as I said that, everything blinked off. That's crazy. I have a sixth sense about that. We don't have solar power yet. When we have solar power, that won't be a concern. But up here in the mountains, for some reason, it does that. Just let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me. The minute I said that, I'm just waiting to hear from someone in the chat room if you can hear me. Let me go on and readjust this. And just let me know. Just let me know. And I'm going to change the overlay and just leave it like this because I didn't put the original one on the screen. Let me go back to the chat. Okay. All right. Okay, good. Okay, thank you so much. If it sounds a little different, I'm on my phone. And I was going to do it on the phone anyway because there's a bunch of random. Look, we're way up in the mountains. I look outside, I'm looking dead in the face of a cloud. So with this electricity jumping around, and I guess on the preventative level, they cut sometimes the power when the storms come around. We had some crazy storms earlier, and I just realized that I'm probably going to have to walk upstairs and close these windows that I have wide open. These guys were doing some tile work earlier, so I'm going to take this up the stairs. No problem. You're going to hear me walking, but I'm going to continue to talk. We got some of the workers, when they come to work, they get up early in the morning and they don't leave, they stay. So that being said, the power is back on, but I'm not going to risk it and get on the computer and my other sound. I'm going to keep it this way. So I would say, give me a second, give me a moment, but I'm going to walk you upstairs with me. So I'm not even going to talk about this right now. So we got three brothers here that's been doing phenomenal work. And that's why and I had the code also. So let's do this real quick. But I had a funny feeling those lights were going to blink out, but they're on now. I think these guys are still up. They don't have much to go. Make sure everything is closed off here. Okay, good. One more flight. Bear with me, everybody. If you're just coming in, we were getting down in the show, and they had the power blink out. Let's see what this is all about here. Everything's all right, brother? Yeah. No, just making sure the windows are closed. You just close them? Okay, cool. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I was doing a live show, man. Yeah, no problem. We good. Yeah. This one can crack a little bit, maybe like a foot, because the rain comes this way. That's still the air coming. You pull down and let me show you. All right. But this is closed. It's closed here. As long as there's no water coming in. And what I want to say, you see the bottom row? We got some tiles left over when they put them up. So I don't know. I'm gonna show them to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 I have some. So if you wanted to use those, I don't know how much it is because some of them cracked, but we still have some good ones. All right. Tomorrow. Yeah. If I wake up late, you just wake me up. All right. Thanks a lot. Okay. Yes, sweetie, I know you hear me. I don't mind. This is real live TV. All right, brother. See you in the morning. Okay. They're doing the upstairs master bathroom, bedroom, the whole top floor. So, no, I'm not going to say anything sensitive. Get back down to this studio. Okay. Doing a phenomenal job. I'm very happy. Let me get back on my seat. I'm so relaxed with y'all. I'm so relaxed. Yes. Okay. Now, what am I seeing here? Oh, I'm so tempted. You know what? I'm probably going to go back on the computer, but I want to keep this open. Okay, we open that one. Then I close this one. All right. We're going to put everything back the way we had it. I'm going to turn this down, plug this up. And I did a little work down in the studio, and it's so destroyed right now. Do you hear an echo? Let me know. Turn this down as much as I can. Okay. This week, for the rest of the week, we're going to blaze through some work and blaze through some shows. I wanted to do one on that Donnie McClurkin situation. Let me open up the screen again, get myself situated. Okay, where was I? All right. I was speaking about the culture of self-destruction. Now, again, if you can, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. And I'm going to try to reconnect with this and share the screen so we can have something to look at. You know, when this power blinks, best it just stays off. Okay, let me present this. It just knocked everything I had set up. But we're good. We're going to come back with it. All right. At least you can see that a little bit because it brings it to life a little better. All right. Thank you, Landon. So like I was saying, and I always say this, and I want to always constantly say this about how our culture has been hijacked by people who don't look like us, who make more money off of us destroying each other. And it's not even just, they say, oh, it's the videos. It's not just the videos, because what happened to us having control? There's nothing wrong with the word control. They make it seem like the word control over our children, it's a crime, but the state and the government wants to have control over us. Isn't that something? That we can sit here and give up our control, let it happen, and they take over the state. You do one little thing they say is wrong, and it may not be wrong. And what's good about it now is that some of y'all who are not responsible, it's good that they take over your children when you go out drinking and leaving them home by themselves. You, oh, it's so wrong. I love my baby. Well, look, I'm going to bring up another point that I did the other day, which may seem not related, but I just feel like letting it all hang out. Because when I saw this pissed me off. It's not just them that unalive themselves. It's the whole community that allows this. If we had those men who are like sentinels, and women now, it could have been the mailman, the bus driver, the old retired dude, the younger dude. Hey, sister, you know you're not supposed to do that. Come here for a second. You know what I mean? Even when they think they trying stuff out. They're on the side of the house with their girlfriends late at night. They didn't leave the property, but their parents are sleeping and they sipping wine over there. And boys are hitting them from behind when they're up against the wall. See, we got to be more on point with our children. Because when you say that one of these young ladies was 26 years old, 10 years ago, she was 16. Right? 15 years ago, she was 11. Me at my age, 15 years ago was like the other day. So where were the people who are there to guide them? Or we just say, oh, it's not my child. No. We can't do that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get Marvin Sapp too. We're gonna do the church thing tomorrow. Now this little storm is leaving, so I think the power, but I have it on my phone and I hear my phone echoing. If you hear it echo, let me know. Electronics are a tricky thing. But we all dropped the ball. Used to be where anybody in the neighborhood can come down the road to your folks' house, whoever raised you. If you didn't have parents or you didn't have a mother, didn't have a father, the grandparents, whoever, you know your baby was down the road and she was down there with a boy. Now I couldn't see what they were doing, but guess what? When she came down from the side of that house, she was pulling her dress down and he was pulling his zipper up. You know what that is? You had to represent the family name. Even if you weren't rich, you had to represent the family name. We may not have had much, but we had our name, we had our dignity. So you knew even if you were doing dirt, you had to protect the name. Now everything is hanging all out, and we're so caught up in the attention. What's up with that? We're addicted to attention. We're so self-centered and addicted to this attention. But they not only lived recklessly, but they felt the need to document and broadcast it, showing how clout chasing can literally cost you your life. That's exactly what it is. You want attention? When I wanted attention, I cracked them books more, because really and truly, you may see me as this dude who had a lot of girlfriends and I was lifting weights and stuff. But before that, I was a nerd. And I was always a nerd all the way through. And I knew I had a family name. And although I may have done some things and we were consenting young adults or whatever have you, nobody knew anything. Everybody thought I was innocent. But I had enough wherewithal to carry myself on the outside. I was not kissing and telling. I was not running around telling people what I did with who. No, you keep that stuff quiet. So people can't say, oh, well, y'all act like nothing went on in the black community back in the day. Everything went on in the black community years ago. But we had the sense enough to keep it a certain way. You have the girlfriend, the girl, you know what we did last night. Yeah, you had that person that you talked to and told everything to in confidence. But you weren't putting it out there. I'm not saying they were putting it out there and doing all kind of stuff. I don't know. But if they can do something like this on their social media, who knows what else that they were doing? And it seems like the more decadent you can be, the better. You see who with the peers? That's not beauty. Guzzling liquor? If I was a decent young man that was open for a wife, who knows what she's doing with them lips? Who knows what she's doing to entice whoever? No, you don't want that. And the same goes for a man. I'm not going to excuse the men either. But we see other cultures. They're not 30 years old. They're women 28 years old. By the time they're 22, 23, now it's not for everybody to be married, especially with the black community as it is now, as toxic as it is. So I ain't trying to clean it up. There's not a lot of available men, but there are some available men. Sometimes they're down the block, next state over, whatever. But your life should not be based on just a man. You should be doing your own thing, preparing yourself to be a better version of yourself so that if one comes along that meets your standards, which you have to have, then we're good. But we know that the Black community is in a state of high alert. Look, what kind of esteem do you have to be carrying on like that and want to broadcast it? This is why we have so much homemade porn put out there. And we feel that's something good. A lot comes to me. A lot I can't talk about. I mean, I will talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about the specific people who have shared things with me or the parents who call me and let me know Lance, man, you got to talk about that. I'm going to talk about it too. My daughter, man, they showed me she was on a porn site, man, and she doesn't miss a week in church. Excuse me, the cold's still holding on. That's the last remnants of it. That's right. Tracy J says, learn to get your own bag. You don't have to compromise yourself to go out there. And really and truly, there's a lot to do with this too, you know. When you have young ladies putting themselves out there and thinking they're glamorous with all this fake DNA all over the makeup, they got a little lip gloss, a little something decent, but come on, man. She look like Spider-Man. Look at her eyes. That's low self-esteem. Because to me, when you are healthy and clean living, I saw a clip, not to get off the subject, but it was Muhammad Ali on some talk show or some show, right? And he was sitting next to his third wife, Veronica. And they were bringing back people from his past. They brought out Joe Frazier, they brought out somebody else that he knew, and they brought out Wilma Rudolph. And she was in the 1960s Olympics and the first Black woman to win a gold medal in track and field. And there was a rumor that he had a crush on her. But when she came out, she was dressed from head to toe so decent, beautiful, fine, clean living. And in the comments, they were saying, what happened to our young ladies where they're carrying on the way they are? Well, the influences are there. And the pull of the outside world is even stronger than the weakened homes that they come from. I say weakened because now they can do what they want to do. And when they get out in the outside world, they really do what they want to do. You see what I mean? It is, Diane says, it's our responsibility to direct our own children. Yes. And others too. But we can't do that because what's the first thing we're going to get? That ain't your baby. That ain't your child. And by the time they're a certain age before they leave from the home, they already have these seeds planted in their mind. Come on now, 10 years ago on social media, the same thing. You could find anything. World star, everybody starts grabbing their phone. You see? Rico the Sadiq, I'm glad you're here. Sorry, I've been running my mouth and I had to leave the screen for a second. But it's something that, I don't know. Missed opportunities. Instead of drinking and speeding at 116 miles per hour, they could have been working towards something meaningful. Education, careers, or even just a different kind of fun that didn't risk their lives. If you do drink, and alcohol is a drug, it's a legalized drug. Do it at home. Do it at a friend's house where you can spend the night. Get a designated driver, take an Uber, take a Lyft, take a cab, something, get a friend to come pick you up. And the scary thing, you can do everything right on the road and you have people like this driving around to run into you and kill you. So you want to do what you do and stay out of the street. Now, I got to say that growing up in New York City, I was always curious. I would always be out on the times that I could because if I worked or was going to school, but I used to find myself everywhere. That's why I have so many stories. So I can't play holier than thou, but I knew when to get out of Dodge. I wasn't a nightclub person, but I used to walk and go up in these places and different things and say, what's going on in there? I want to see. And I have friends with me, clean friends. We didn't drink. And if I was by myself, you know what? even when I was of age, right? And independent. I would always call my mother, my father, and 3 friends of mine or 4 friends of mine to let them know where I was before the days of cell phones. I'd call on the phone, like, this is where I am. This is where I'm going to be. Yes, I was always aware that if I was alone and out in Manhattan late at night, 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning, it was always with the opposite sex or in the pursuit of. But I had fun by myself, and I didn't have to do that. When I did go out by myself, I'd go to restaurants, bookstores, places where you can buy music. It was different then. You can talk to people. I would meet a young lady. We're looking at music. Oh, wow. You know, look, that's what you're going to buy? Is there another one? Yeah, there's one over here. Wow, how long have you been listening to that? Shared interest, y'all. So what's your name? My name is Lance. You know, so and so and so. What are you doing after this? Oh, I'm just going to the sushi joint. Oh, don't tell me that. What sushi joint are you going to? Wholesome stuff. Not even rapping like, yeah, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her naked. And you know what? Things happen when you have a pure heart. But that wasn't the goal. What sushi restaurant are you going to? Oh, I'm going to the one around the corner here. It's what's the street over there in the village here? Whatever. I say, listen, I know that place because I went in every one. There's one on 72nd Street called Kanoko. I know you don't know me, but this is the daytime. Why don't you come on up there with me? It's only $21 all you can eat, but they got I got you. Oh, for real? Come on, let's go. And then when it wasn't even a date, when the time is over, listen, I live up in the Bronx. I got to go home, whatever. Well, listen, I'm not trying to push up on you any kind of way, but let's switch numbers and we would be cool and we may not even see each other, or meet me back here next week. We had fun at this particular time. I didn't know she was going to show up. Boom, there she goes. Clean fun. And when you're with me, you're safe. I might look at you and say, oh my God, she has a beautiful, nice body, whatever, but I'm going to be a gentleman. Ain't nobody can come on this thing from the past and say Lancescurv was never a gentleman. And that's what gets you to certain places you might think about going in those years, innocently. But this drinking and smoke and social clubs and all of this stuff, no way. And the thing is, what happened to real sisterhood? True friends wouldn't let each other engage in reckless behavior. They would hold each other accountable and stop bad decisions before it turns fatal. So I got to bring up my friend Kevin. We spoke about this the other day, and I didn't know that I'd be talking about this. I would go to his house on 131st Street, and I lived on 134th Street, and it was the short blocks, not the long way, but the short way. So it was quick to walk back and forth. Back in the day when it wasn't as dangerous. I wasn't driving when I was 15 and 16 or whatever have you. He's a little older than me. He had his father's car. It's like, we'd hang out till late. And I say, listen, man, you tired. I'm going home. No, man, I'm going to drive you. Drive me? What, 3 blocks? I was cock diesel. Everybody knew me in the neighborhood. Nobody's going to do nothing to me. And it wasn't like that back then. I said, nah, man, I'm going to drive you home. I said, all right, if you want to. Now, we do that. But then other times, because see, I was the adventurous one in the crew. I might leave his house at 11:30, 12 o'clock. And guess what? He's like, you going home, right? Because he wouldn't drive. He didn't always drive me. I said, no, man, I'm going to Manhattan. You going to Manhattan 12 o'clock at night? I'm like, yeah, I'm going out there, man. There's a newsstand out there open up all night long. I got to get my magazines, man. I'm going to go get a slice of pizza. I was always also hanging out by myself. But I was always alert, but it was dangerous. I'd hop on the A train, ride through Brooklyn in the wee hours. Now, Brooklyn, but because I just didn't have any fear and I kept myself fit, I didn't bother nobody, and people knew not to mess with me. I was just blessed that I was protected. It's not because I was so tough. I'd walk around, I had boundless energy like I do now. They can tell you that. You see what I mean? But now, you know, real friends don't let you do certain things. And there were times when my friend Kim would say, listen, you're not going out there, man. You left my house. Your parents know that you're here with me. And, you know, his folks were sleeping or whatever have you. I can't let you, please don't do that, man. I would feel so bad if something happens to you. I know one time he drove me home and away from the driveway and I left out again. I was just that way. I love life. I had balanced energy. I took good care of myself in the nights, and not just nights, but sometimes in the day. I'd get up all day and wander through New York and meet people. And just, I really, like I said, I'm going to live a long time, God willing. But I'll tell you right now, if something ever happened to me where my time is cut off where it should be, don't ever think that I did not enjoy this life, every morsel of it. I was always energetic and adventurous, but in a safe way, because I did not want to make my mother or my father have that thing where they got to bury their child. I never wanted that. And there were situations where I always had a gift of discernment. I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go there. I wasn't stupid now. I knew how to mask myself. I knew how to walk down the street and kind of turn invisible and blend in, and certain blocks you don't go down. And yeah, there's times I used to hop on my bike and ride my bike all night, ride through Brooklyn, go to my friend's house, come back to Queens. I did a lot of crazy things. Not being crazy, but I just didn't. I know I would take care of myself. I know one night I was in Brooklyn one night and I was riding my bike from the gym late. We used to get out of the gym sometime midnight. I would ride through, maybe go spend the night by my friend's house, whatever, just ride, trying to get in shape. I remember I went down this dark street and all these tires came rolling out in the road. They trying to make me fall and take my screaming, man. I bolted out of there so fast. I can tell you stories about that, but I'm going to get back on point. Real sisterhood. That's a test. You don't let your friends put themselves in a certain situation. The deceptive fun lifestyle. You see how media and the music glorify fast living? I mean, yeah, we just said that, but I made my bulletin points. I have to say it officially. The partying and ignoring the consequences. What do you think? You're Superman or Superwoman? Look at your arm. Look at your forearm and squeeze it. You know an animal could bite a chunk of your arm off. You're not Superman. And even in my most invincible feeling days, when you walking around 40 years ago, built like a Greek statue, and you can run and jump and you strong and I wasn't stupid back then. No. I didn't want to go to an early grave. I kept my body covered because there's envy. Folks want to see you, their girlfriend looks at you, they want to shoot you. No way. You think I would get in a fair fight? Doesn't mean when you have muscles or when you had it, that means you can fight. But I think I was pretty good with my hands. And what if these girls killed other people? Right? What if they killed other people? They were lucky not to take anyone else with them other than who was in the car, the truck, the SUV. It could have been a bigger tragedy, y'all. What about a family who's driving home from a family gathering? It might have been 3:19 or 3:16 in the morning, but they were there safe. The kids dozed off and they're sitting around talking. What happened at times like this? Why do you have to be driving around the street late at night, drunk? Drunk. Best for you to be laying up with some man having unprotected sex. At least maybe he don't have anything. But where is this coming from even more? I don't understand it. It's worse. We had these types before. We've always had it, but there was a little more discretion. Some may call it victim blaming, but in truth, it's about accountability. If people don't wake up from this cycle of self-destruction, more Black women and men will meet the same fate. They're going to meet the same fate. But you know what? We feel invincible. We want to go out there and do what we got to do. And if they were spared, maybe a little fender bender on a pole or something, how are you going to wake up? With a hangover? Feeling all messed up, doing this to your body, drying your body out, jacking up your kidneys and your liver? Look, do what you do, but I'm not going to get on some old health, whatever. Like I'm perfect. I just don't do that. I've done a lot of other things, no drugs, no nothing like that. But, I'm here and I ain't trying to take no more chances with anything because I appreciate life. Look, we're all going to go. We're all going to transition. And I made the mention the other day, and to a dear friend of mine that, and earlier today we spoke about it. Big shout out to Brother Kirk. That was perfect divine timing. And I'll tell you about that story. When you know that you're in alignment, you will be protected, but you don't push it. If you are the useful tool divinely in your life, you're not going to be discarded that fast because you have use and value to this universe and to the one who made you. That's the best way to protect yourself. Be valuable, improve yourself, make yourself better, a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. And it doesn't have to be corny. You can have fun. I like to tell jokes. I like to make people laugh. I like to reminisce. I like to make you feel better if you feel down. Any of y'all feel down? My number's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Give me a call. I don't want you feeling down to the point where you're going to do something. Even if I don't know you, never saw you, never talked to you before, say, hey, Lance, can you just listen to me for a little while? I'll do that. Because that's me giving back to the universe, because you know what? The universe is always, and I mean what we call God. I'm not getting religious. I'm just saying the creator. Look, if we can encompass who the creator really is, our heads would explode, because it would be like putting too much electricity into a weak light bulb. Our heads would explode. And it's raining again, but I don't think it's going to be, because there's no thunder and lightning going on. It's just coming down. Boy, it's raining up in here these days. You plant a seed, and then 2 days later, there's a tree looking at you. But we have to appreciate. And like I said, I'm at a level of awareness. I'm no guru now, but I'm not ready. I don't want that right now, but I'm closer to the acceptance of my time ending on this plane, because I'm aware that this is a journey. And some beautiful words were shared with me, and I'm going to try to find it right now. And I have to repeat this because it's like I got those words, and it's perfect to wrap down this particular segment, because I was going to do something for 15 minutes and come back and do another one, but I'll double up tomorrow. Like I said, my voice is a little better. I feel a little stuff, like I want to sneeze, but it's on the way out. Okay, let me see this here. This is a video, okay? I'm going to read this off. It's going to play, or maybe I should put it up. I don't know if it has music behind it, so I'm going to repeat what I see. Okay? It says, you are nothing. You lose nothing. If you buy land or buy a house, you have only paid for the remaining years you have on earth. None of them belong to you. If you buy a car, you have only paid for your transport, for the period the car will last, or if the period you will last, it doesn't belong to your body. If you marry a spouse, you have only got company until circumstances of death do you part. No one knows the other. If you have children, you have only, okay, this is going fast. Let me freeze this. Okay. Demand the continuity of life until death comes. You don't own them. That's why the state will still dictates how you bring them. If you have money, you only have a mass value to purchase what you want for your remaining number of years on earth. The notes belong to the central bank. If you work and retire, your pension is only good for you, only for life. After your life, after you die, it stops. Even if you eat, you'll get filled. The food in your belly isn't yours. This is flashing fast. That's why I'm stuttering, y'all. You must defecate it back to the earth. The body itself, which you cherish so highly, doesn't belong to you. The earth will certainly reclaim its bits. When the loan is due, even a life that's borrowed, and surely will be returned. So let us not be afraid of losing anything in this life, because we do not own anything. Wow. I jacked it up because when I was reading it or watching this little video, it flashed by so fast. What I'll do, I'll drop this link in the WhatsApp group room that we have. I think the link is in the description area below. I try to keep it where if you can't find it one way, you'll get it the other way. But this is sad, but It's also inconsiderate. Taking life for granted is something that we should not do. I've always been aware of this. I've always been aware of the fact that our energy came from somewhere and it's going somewhere afterward. Do the best in this journey. Don't get too attached to the things, the status, the gadgets, the cars, the house. This is the nicest house I ever lived in. The house that I grew up in was very nice. It was a lot smaller in Queens, New York. When I was born in an apartment, not in the apartment, but aha, it's called being ready. See the power, see what it is? It blinks off, blinks on, blinks off. So yeah, just let me know that you can hear me. I'm gonna wrap this down. I'm on the phone, so it's no problem. But try not to get attached to these things, what this world gives you to be attached to. Because when it's time to let go, it's easier. Life is a journey. I enjoy the journey. I want it to last as long as I can so I can amass more wisdom and experiences. But even this pretty old big house I'm in, somebody else is going to live in it. Somebody else is going to appreciate it. Somebody else is going to say, man, this is a nice big house. It's laid out right. I don't know who made it. So our bodies, the food, everything. But don't take it for granted. If you come away with anything from what happened with these young ladies, just don't take it for granted. Seriously. And when let me put this up here. I didn't realize we got knocked out and we knocked out the screen. And I didn't upload the other one. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this down. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Matter of fact, does anybody want to come on in? Let's see, we drop the link in. If you want it, you can come on in. I haven't done a live in a while except for Brother Neil Frazier because I've been working a lot in the house here and just dealing with this cold that I had. It was a wicked cold. It can qualify as a flu. It was so bad. Okay, there's the link. If anybody wants to come on in and say something, if not, it's okay because this wasn't a scheduled show from a while back, so you didn't know. So for those who are here, I appreciate you being here. And yeah. I'm very shy when I say, people say, well, why didn't you tell me it was your birthday? Well, it's not until April 8th, but I'll just say that. I may say it the day after, but I'm not going to say it no more. You know what I mean? I enjoy today just as much. I'm not caught up in all of that. It's a milestone and it makes me think. But heavy thoughts have been hitting my brain and I want to go for more. I want to take care of myself better. I want to think better thoughts. I want less toxicity around me, which I pretty much have next to none. And there's so many spiritual things, laws that I'm experiencing now, just living. Okay, everybody knows that I'm not driving now. So I take the van down into the city, into Accra, because I'm up in the mountains. And so I buy my drinking water, okay? And I have a whole lot of those big jugs here. Last me for a long time. But when 3 go down, I take 3 down and leave it. Next 3 go down, I take the next 3 and refill it and bring all 6 up, right? So I had to go get more materials for the fellas that are doing the work here. So I had to jump up very early. And that's why I fell asleep last night because I was going to do a show last night. But I said, look, if I'm going to get up at 7 o'clock and it's 2 o'clock, I think I need to go back to bed. So he woke me up. He said, listen, you ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. So I brought the bottles down with me, right? So we went and got the stuff and he came back with it and I continued to go on down into Accra. And once I did that, I went by the mall that was there, that was in my old neighborhood where the old apartment used to be, said a few quick hellos to the people who haven't seen me in a while. I grabbed a bite to eat. Got a little bite to eat because we shot up and shot right out because the other guys that were here, they wanted to get done with the work for the day. So I'm down there and I talked to the fellas down there. You know, we all get along and I got some of their numbers. And we talked for a while and we exchanged the jugs. And usually I'll take the van back up. But as
one of the fellas brought the jugs out to the edge of the curb almost. My phone rang. And it was my buddy who, his house is probably 10 minutes away from this one, going further out down the road. And we did some shows together about maybe 3 years ago. We did 2. You might not remember them, and they're all gone. Those are gone now when they took the channel down. But the bottom line is, you see how things flowed for me? They called me, and they were flying up the road and saw me. Well, one guy saw me and said, "Is that your friend that does the YouTube videos?" Then they called me. I said, "Man, I'm about to go back up in the mountains." They said, "Hey, man, we didn't pass you too far. We're going to come back and turn around and come pick you up." But you see how little things like that let you know that you're right on point. You're being looked out for. If I left that place 5 minutes faster or 5 minutes later, when I got to get my bite to eat, if I ran my mouth another 10 minutes, I wouldn't have got that ride. There's certain things that happen that let you know that you're being looked out for because of your good heart and the things that you do. And we're human. We might cuss. We might get mad at somebody. We might insult somebody. But overall, it's all averaged out. Your heart, your intention, who you are. You know what I mean? And to me, I've been in situations where nothing life or death, but situations that were crucial, maybe on a financial level, maybe on some kind of level, and a way is always made. And that's why you have to be there for the good people that you know in your life to help them make a way when they're in a tight space. And I don't mean the evil, toxic people who are looking to stab you in your back. You have to let karma come for them. You can't get in the way of karma because you're going to inherit their karma, okay? You might like them, you might know them, whatever, but you have to let karma do it. And I say karma as an overall concept. We know what it is, you know? So I'm going to wrap this down. I'm going to hit the sack because these guys are going to get up early in the morning to do their work, and I want to be up with them. I got a little cleaning up to do. We're going to do some more shows. When it rains, I'll be doing stuff through the phone. I don't like that pause for me scrambling back on. And when I get my solar power, it'll be on and popping even more. But yes, thank you all so much. And I really appreciate you all being here. It's been wonderful. I didn't even know I was going to be on this long. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Take care. Peace. Okay, I'm supposed to be hearing some music. I don't hear it. So we're just going to let it go like that. Maybe you hear it and I don't, but I'll pause it and I just hit everything on the exit and we'll be out. All right, y'all. Hit me up. Share this around. Look at the top of the, if you're not there already, the top of the chat and hit that link and subscribe there also. Because I'm going to be doing a lot of writing tomorrow also. And you're missing out on a whole lot. All right? Peace.